What's up everybody, I'm Jesse from Mullen Woodworks, and today we're going over what I chose to power my trailer, all the amenities inside when we're off grid. Now of course we're going to be staying at a lot of RV parks, state parks, national parks that have hookups, but when the case that we don't, we wanted to make sure that we had power that we can power our fridge, that we can power even maybe the TV if we're stuck inside, if it's raining, things like that, small things that we can actually get by. So we wanted something that was clean, efficient, and quiet. And so we ended up actually settling on the Delta Ecoflow. Now this Ecoflow product is really awesome. It already has hookups for a solar panel, and they actually do sell solar panels as well. So when you're off grid and you have absolutely no power, this thing's drained, you can charge it up. I'll be going over that in another video. But I'll show you in this video what we use for the trailer and a little bit of other tests that we ran on the Ecoflow Delta. When we went on our week-long trip, we were driving about 5 hours. Now, if you followed the trailer rebuild, you know that I didn't put in a dual power refrigerator. They're very expensive, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. So we ended up going with this retro looking fridge that is just off of electric power. Now, so that means when we're driving, it doesn't have any power, so we needed a power source to power it while we're driving. It's perfect for that. I plugged in our trailer while we were driving. The refrigerator, after plugging in and testing it, it only pulls about 60 watts at a time. Now the cool thing about the Ecoflow Delta is that it actually has a screen. It'll tell you how much life is left, and it'll also show you how many watts are getting pulled out. It's a really cool design, really simple. So with the fridge plugged in, it actually was pulling about 60 watts consistently. That's pretty close, 60, 66 watts. It kept ranging right around there. Now it said that this will last 23 to 22 hours while that was being pulled, which is perfect for any drive. Most drives we're gonna do are probably 8 hours max. So we had plenty of power to just make sure that all of our food, all of that storage is gonna keep until we get to the campsite and plug in. While we were there, we also did a test on our little coffee maker, and it worked really well on that. It was able to do my small Traeger, which when it's heating up is when the most power was getting sucked out of it. But I have a small Traeger called the Ranger. Now the Ranger is the smallest of all the Traegers, and it's a really cool product, and it does have basically a hot plate. So camping wise, it works out really well for what we need. We don't need it for a lot of things, mostly for the fridge, but it is really cool that we know we can actually take it outside. If our kids are all sleeping, my wife and I can take it outside, actually plug in our coffee maker, make coffee outside while we're waiting for them to wake up. Now for some tests that I ran here at home, we decided to use my big Traeger, big smoker, and test it out on that. Now even though that the Ecoflow wasn't actually fully charged, it still said it would last about 8 hours, and that was at the beginning when it was heating up. Then now once that hot plate gets hot and starts burning the pellets now feed into itself, and it keeps that flame going. Once it got going, it actually said it will last about 50 hours. So doing this little test, if you're smoking even a pulled pork, smoking it for 8 hours, it would still be plenty of time for this. So if you're out on tailgating, something like that, and you wanna run a smoker, this is something that's actually perfect for that. I did test it on some of my tools. I tested on my Delta drill press. It's a stand-up drill press. I figured that it would do just fine, and it did. I tested it out. It actually worked great for the drill press. I mean, there's not a lot of power pulling through. Since it's just a belt-driven motor, it's pretty simple. Now the big test I wanted to test it on was my miter saw. Now this is a 12-inch miter saw. It's a very big miter saw, bigger motor. I figured that it probably wouldn't work. And so firing it up, it actually did not work. It tripped the Ecoflow, which I kind of assumed it would to begin with. It's a lot of power coming out. Watching the screen, you can see that it hit over 3,300 watts on different times I tested it, which is just too much for the Ecoflow. Now, one thing I actually was really excited for was trying this out on my projector. So I'm building a outdoor theater, so I wanted to test my projector, the sound system, and my Apple TV and see if it would power everything. So that's exactly what we did. We started with just the projector and the Apple TV, and we plugged it in, and it worked perfectly fine. It said it had over 6 hours of power, and that was at 60% charge. So I'm thinking that we're probably closer to about 10 hours or 9 hours when it's fully charged, which is pretty awesome. I wanted to plug in a bigger speaker into it as well, because when we're gonna be watching it out there, we're gonna need a big speaker, not just go off of the projector speaker. So we played around with it, I plugged it in, and it worked awesome. It didn't take any more watts, really, just a little bit, and it still said it would last about 5 to 6 hours, which is more than enough for a movie. So now instead of running extension cords all the way from my office all the way outside to where my projector will be, we can just plug everything in right into the Ecoflow Delta. Now this is just an introduction to what I will be using for this. I mean, it works great for the stuff we need for the trailer, keeping our food, our fridge, everything cold while we're on the road. And then around the house, there's different applications that we can use it for, including job site applications, and then stuff like the outdoor movie theater. It's just really cool. And more than anything, if we lose power out here, at least having this so we can charge our phones, things like that, with the USB-C charging ports on the front, USB 2, and the USB 3 is great, along with the 3 outlets in the back. I'll be doing another video soon showing the solar panel, along with doing some more tests, so make sure you check that out. But so far, I absolutely love the Ecoflow Delta. It's working great. And there is a link in the description below. Thanks for checking out the channel. Check out all the other videos, including the camper remodel, the pergola build, and follow me on Instagram for the currently building our outdoor theater. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.